Something unprecedented just happened in the Pacific. For the first time since World War II, Japan looked Washington in the eye and said no. Not politely, not quietly, but with a force that sent shockwaves through every financial market on Earth. The US-Japan trade war that erupted this week isn't just about tariffs or economic policy, it's about power, pride, and whether America's oldest Asian ally is about to walk away from 75 years of partnership. Here's what you need to understand. President Trump just slapped a 35% tariff on Japanese imports, cars, electronics, semiconductors, all of it. We're talking about $120 billion in annual trade suddenly thrown into chaos. Toyota lost $18 billion in market value overnight. Sony dropped $9 billion. The entire Japanese stock market went into freefall. But here's where it gets wild. Instead of backing down, Japan's Prime Minister Sai Takai fired back with a threat that made Wall Street lose its mind. She said if Washington uses tariffs as a weapon, Tokyo will strike at the heart of the American economy. And she wasn't talking about tariffs. She was talking about Treasury bonds. Japan holds over $1.1 trillion in U.S. debt. That's 14% of all foreign-held American debt. If Japan even hints at selling those bonds, U.S. borrowing costs could explode. Interest rates could spike, and the entire dollar system could start cracking. The Dow dropped 600 points the moment traders realized what she meant. But the U.S.-Japan trade war goes deeper than financial threats. Japan isn't just fighting back with money. They're building a whole new system. Tokyo just launched something called currency pluralism, a plan to move Asian trade away from the U.S. dollar entirely. They're working with South Korea, Australia, and ASEAN nations to create alternative payment systems that cut America out of the loop. If even 20% of Asia's trade worth over $4 trillion annually moves away from the dollar, U.S. interest rates could surge and American financial dominance could start unraveling. And then there's the Asian Renaissance. Japan, South Korea, and Australia just signed a $200 billion innovation fund to build their own semiconductor supply chains, battery technology, and clean energy infrastructure. Compare that to America's $52 billion CHIPS Act. Asia just quadrupled the bet. They're not waiting for permission anymore. They're building independence, and fast. Now here's the part that should terrify Washington. Trump's team is reportedly considering pulling back U.S. military forces from Okinawa. For 75 years, that base has been the backbone of American power in the Pacific. If the U.S. starts scaling down its military presence in Japan, it's not just about troop numbers. It's about trust. Moody's already warned that a rupture in U.S.-Japan relations could destabilize $1.2 trillion in cross-border investments. Goldman Sachs said this could trigger a chain reaction across global markets. This U.S.-Japan trade war is forcing the world to ask a question nobody wanted to face. Is the American-led global order actually ending? Because what we're seeing isn't just a trade dispute. It's a realignment. Japan is rising with confidence it hasn't shown in decades. Their economy is growing faster than Germany's. Domestic investment is surging. They've introduced the Industrial Renaissance Act, pumping $180 billion into rebuilding their technological backbone. And they're doing it all under a new slogan that echoes through Tokyo: "Make Japan respected again." The symbolism is impossible to ignore. 40 years ago, America forced Japan to sign the Plaza Accord, weakening the yen to protect the dollar. Today, Japan isn't following orders. They're rewriting the script. The yen is surging. Asian alliances are forming, and Washington is watching its influence slip away in real time. So what happens next in this U.S.-Japan trade war? Either America backs down and rebuilds trust with its oldest Pacific ally, or Japan keeps building alternatives until the dollar loses its grip on Asia. Either way, the world order that's existed since 1945 is shifting. And the scary part? Nobody knows where it stops. If this story opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This situation is evolving fast and you don't want to miss what happens next. Drop a comment and tell me, is Japan right to stand up to America, Or is this the beginning of something dangerous? Let's talk about it.